Humans first became well known because we were skilled at a trait that distinguished us apart, using tools. That remains the same. We can now construct enormous skyscrapers thanks to technological advancements, partly because of the enormous vehicles we have created over time. But what exactly is the largest car in the world? Well, to your surprise, these are not cars or buses, but massive vehicles created for a specific purpose. So let's dive into today's video to learn about the 5 most giant vehicles in the world. Here we begin. Number 5. Antonov An-225 Mriya. The Soviet Union's Antonov Design Bureau created this cargo aircraft in the 1980s for airlifting important military supplies. The Mriya is another example of the huge aircraft that the Soviets were famed for creating. Unfortunately, only one specimen was ever completed, and it was initially designed as an expansion of the Antonov An-124 to transport Buran-class orbiters. Mriya is the largest and heaviest airplane on Earth, measuring 83.82 meters in length and 285 tons in weight, with an 88.39-meter wingspan and a large cargo capacity to transport 50 vehicles. The aircraft was stored for 8 years after completing its military duty. After that, it was restored and put back into service with Antonov Airlines, flying enormous payloads. Construction of a second aircraft with a slightly different configuration was started, but it was repeatedly put on hold due to a lack of finance and enthusiasm. The last time this second aircraft was brought to 60 to 70% complete was in 2009. The An-225 held multiple records with a maximum takeoff weight of 640 tons, including being the biggest aircraft ever built and having the largest wingspan of any operating aircraft. Due to its size and distinctiveness, the Mriya aroused considerable public curiosity and eventually gained a following on a global scale. To view the scheduled arrivals and departures, people regularly visit airports. The An-225 originally had a maximum gross weight of 600 tons. Still, between 2000 and 2001, the aircraft underwent $20 million worth of upgrades, including the addition of a strengthened floor, increasing the maximum gross weight to 640 tons. The An-225 is heavier than the double-deck Airbus A380 and is the heaviest aeroplane in the world, based on both the earlier and later takeoff weights. Airbus states that successfully landing in A380 at 591.7 tons, 652.2 short tons, during testing has increased the maximum landing weight of the An-225. Number 4. BelAZ 75710. The ultra-class haul truck BelAZ 75710 is made in Belarus by BelAZ. It was the biggest, highest payload capacity haul truck as of 2013. This enormous ultra-class haul truck is 8.16 meters tall and 20.6 meters long, equivalent to the length of 2 double-decker buses parked end-to-end. Built for a Russian mining firm, it has a weight of 360 tons, which is more than an Airbus A380-passenger jet can carry when fully loaded. In addition, it has the highest payload capacity of any dump truck at 408,233 tons. The BelAZ 75710 is a 2-axle vehicle that mimics the 1950s International Pay Hauler 350 by having double wheels, one to an axle. It requires two 5980 R63 tires because of this. It also includes remarkable 4-wheel hydraulic steering and 4-wheel drive. Its turning radius is approximately 31 meters, 102 feet, 2 MTU 65-liter, 4,000 cubic inches, 16-cylinder 4-stroke diesel engines, each with 2,300 horsepower, are used to power the Siemens MMT 600 drive system as opposed to a single engine, 1,700 kilowatts. These are connected to 4 AC traction motors and 2 AC alternators, 2 in each axle. According to corporate data, the fuel consumption is 198 grams per kilowatt hour, 55 grams per megajoules, with the possibility to run on just one if carrying fewer loads. The greatest claimed speed is 64 kilometers per hour, 40 miles per hour, whereas the top economy speed is 40 kilometers per hour. When fully laden and traveling up a 10% gradient, 25 miles per hour. Number 3. Prelude FLNG. The Prelude is the first floating liquefied natural gas (FLNG) project in the world and is a part of a joint venture between Royal Dutch Shell, KOGAS, and INPEX. It was constructed to gain access to new offshore natural gas reserves that were previously either too expensive or impossible to produce. The Prelude FLNG is the largest ship ever built and the largest floating offshore facility in the world, measuring 488 meters long, with 4 soccer fields and 74 meters wide. With a length of 488 meters, 1,601 feet, and a width of 74 meters, 243 feet, it is built of more than 260,000 tons of steel. When fully laden, the ship has a displacement of about 600,000 tons, more than 5 times that of an aircraft carrier for the Nimitz class. The Technip Samsung Consortium constructed the primary double-hulled structure in South Korea's Samsung Heavy Industries Goji shipyard. The turret mooring system was constructed in Dry Docks World Dubai, United Arab Emirates, under a subcontract with SBM. On November 30, 2013, it was launched without a superstructure. Instead, the ship is fastened to 16 steel piles driven into the seabed, each 65 meters long and 5.5 meters in diameter, by its turret. Why was it built? Drilling and gas production was scheduled to start in 2016 at the Prelude and Concerto gas fields in the BelAZ LNG basin, 200 kilometers, 120 miles, off the coast of Australia. The system is expected to last for 25 years. As a result, 5.3 million tons of liquid and condensate, including 3.6 million tons of liquefied natural gas, 1.3 million tons of condensate, and 400,000 tons of liquefied petroleum gas, are anticipated to be produced annually from the Prelude and Concerto fields. On December 26, 2018, Royal Dutch Shell declared that Prelude had started its maiden production. According to Shell, wells have been drilled and the startup and ramp-up stages have begun. In February 2020, Prelude was shut off due to an apparent electrical issue. In January 2021, production was resumed. Unfortunately, a power outage on the ship occurred on December 2, 2021, due to a minor fire. As a result, production was stopped and most of the team was forced to leave. NOPSEMA ordered the supermajor to suspend production indefinitely until Shell could demonstrate revised practices due to recurrent environmental and safety incidents. The ship's activities were resumed in April 2022. However, during a strike that lasted 11 weeks until August 25, 2022, operations were once more partially halted before being completely suspended. Number 2. Bagger 288. The Bagger 293 is the largest terrestrial vehicle in the world, and it either owns or shares a few records in that regard. It requires a small army to transport and operate since it is so large, on a scale comparable to a skyscraper. It was constructed to move rock and earth and mountains for mining activities. It weighs an incredible 13,500 tons. That is around the same as 71 blue whales. The device has a daily capacity of 240,000 tons of earth removal. That would be the equivalent of daily moving 2/3 of the Empire State Building. The main digging tool is a huge water wheel-like contraption with a circular shovel shape that continuously churns, pulling the earth up to a conveyor belt system. It moves using a network of tracks resembling caterpillars that are evenly spaced so that the enormous weight of the structure doesn't press the tracks into the ground. Under the main chassis, there are 12 caterpillar tracks, plus an extra on the far end. It needs an external electrical connection to be powered and is unable to function on its own. Therefore, it is primarily employed in strip mining, particularly when extracting coal. It is enormous and is most likely a candidate for the title of the largest car in the world, although you won't see many of them moving around. They are incredible. Number 1. NASA Crawler Transporter. NASA created 2 crawler transporters in 1965 to transport rockets to their launch pads. These enormous space shuttle carriers were the largest self-powered land vehicles in the world at the time. They were 39,929 meters long, 34,747 meters broad, and almost 6,096 tall. A pair of tracked vehicles, called the crawler transporters, often called the Missile Crawler Transporter Facilities, are used to move spacecraft from NASA's Vehicle Assembly Building, VAB, along the crawlerway to Launch Complex 39. They were initially employed to transport the Saturn IB and Saturn V rockets during the Apollo Skylab and Apollo-Soyuz projects. From 1981 until 2011, they were used to transport space shuttles for $14 million, $128.5 million in 2022. The two crawler transporters were created by Mriya Power Shovel Company, using some parts created and manufactured by Rockwell International. The crawler transporter was built to be the biggest self-propelled land vehicle ever. Despite being substantially larger, other machines, including power shovels like the Captain, dragline excavators like Big Muskie, and bucket wheel excavators like Bagger 288, are powered by outside sources. 8 tracks, 2 on each corner, and a mass of 2,721 tons make up the crawler transporter. Each of the 57 shoes on a track weighs 900 kilograms, and the vehicle is 40 by 35 meters in size. Each side can be lifted and lowered independently of the other, and the distance from the ground to the platform can be adjusted between 6.1 and 7.9 meters, 20 and 26 feet. While crawling up the 5% grade to the launch location, the crawler uses a laser guiding system and a leveling device to maintain the mobile launcher platform level within 10 minutes of the arc. A separate laser docking system offers precise accuracy when the crawler transporter and mobile launch platform are positioned in the VAB or at the launch pad. These are the biggest vehicles in the world in 2022. What do you think of these giant vehicles? Let us know in the comments below.